Welcome! And it is in the spirit of St. Hubertus that I bring you my night show. Okay, so we are going to do practical around the house type stuff today. What do we actually use around the house? Well, this one came today, and we're going to do an unboxing of this little guy. And it's very interesting. Looks like a regular knife. Pretty cool functionality. Got a saw blade. You know, a couple other blades, but this is a very unique knife. Turning it over, we will see the slingshot functionality going on here. Yes. So when you're out trying to look for food and you want to shoot something cute and small, Ibo, sit. You sit. Yeah. Let me show you how this works. Yes, I do own rights to this music. Okay, so what you do is, you can see there's a little gap there, and you just fit that through to attach it. So yes, it locks in place, and we're going to try this at the end of this little video. It actually comes with a couple split shot balls to shoot, and I've got a couple other, I think 50 caliber balls around here somewhere. So let's try this one. Very unique instrument, and I will give the links as to where to find this. It is out of China, as you might have noticed from the intro. I collect German knives. It's called the Sniper Eagle, and you can actually find it on Amazon. You can see slip shot there, and then these, I'm not exactly sure how they work, but they're pretty cool. I'll figure that out. And then if you don't want that much firepower, a little less kinetic energy, you've got that. Pretty badass. Swiss Army XAV. Awesome knife. Don't have to really say much more about it. It is a little bulky. It is a little expensive. The Swiss Champ will do most of what this does. But then again, it doesn't do all of what that one does. But we'll have a video on that one later. You know, I managed a lot of land. I still am involved in some land up north, a couple thousand acres for about 10 years, and a lot of, you know, ATVs, trucks, diesel trucks, that kind of thing, tractors. And this I would bring with me, or a Swiss Champ, and an adjustable wrench, and you've got most of what you need right there, honestly, for most things I found. So field tested. AK-47 bayonet, $50. Surplus. Can't get more knife for the money, I don't think. It's got a wire cutter on the sheath. It's a lot of knife. It's got some collector value. It's sharp. It's short. So for a bayo, it's a great field knife. One of the more practical knives around here. Sandrin, Tungsten Carbide. Let me just tell you about this knife. I use it around here. I've also got the folding version. They actually gave me a good deal on it because they didn't have the one I wanted in stock. This is Tungsten Carbide. This makes all of your knives obsolete. Kind of a bold statement. Rockwell hardness, 71. Is it flexible? Yes, it is, actually. I actually own their thinner version of this, their kind of entry-level one, and it's extremely flexible. This is built in the Italian Alps. It's taken them 20 years to perfect the process of building these. Tungsten carbide traditionally has been used for things like splitting biological cells into two pieces. You know, they would provide universities with knives, knife blades, I should say, and they would be put on special machines where they wouldn't be subject to any forces that would crack them because they were brittle. So this is really the first time that we've seen a knife that's actually field usable in terms of overall toughness that has some of the hardness of tungsten steel. Has no, or tungsten carbide, excuse me, has no steel in it whatsoever. So this is, they actually, to get it down to 71 was, Rockwell hardness was the challenge here on this one. An amazing knife. Here is the folding version. It's a flipper. It's a lot of knife. There's a couple other reviews on this one you can check out. I do use it. It's heavy. It's heavier than the fixed. So I really enjoyed carrying the fixed. It's a great size. It's like, I don't know exactly what that is. We've got a measuring tape here. Pretty handy size. I like a small fixed. A lot of people don't carry fixed knives anymore, but it's got a great sheath. One thing, and John Fitzen will be glad I said this, it doesn't have a cross guard. I don't like these. It's almost a finish style. If you're ever in a situation where you're really going to be using this, or if you have to use it for self-defense, this is dangerous. Not having anything to keep your hand from slipping on there, especially this particular knife, because even out of the factory it's extremely sharp. But I love that knife. Speaking of tungsten carbide, this is actually a Sierra Tools with tungsten carbide. I guess it's a kind of a conglomerate at the end of it here, a mix, a mulch, a mud. I don't know what that is, but I haven't tried this. As you can see, I got some cool new knives, and this one looks very promising to have the tungsten carbide right on the edge. The blade itself is still fairly flexible, although this is not a cheap tool. And that leads me into this one. So this is a cold steel yard knife, is basically what I would call it. I like cold steel. It's not what I collect. This particular design is also pretty good at severing heads from my historical knowledge of knives. No, I'm sorry, this is not a cold steel. This is a K-bar. Yes, sorry about that. K-bar, I'm finding to be a pretty good brand these days. I just ordered one of their collector models and picked this up also, and it's pretty darn nice. They're still made in USA, as far as I know. Yeah, they must be. It's big USA. It's got some great anodizing on here, and comes with another smaller. Does it come with another smaller knife? No, it doesn't. I think it's cool they give you a provision to put your other knife in here, though. That's a pretty cool idea. So it wasn't quite the design I wanted. So I saw that Spyderco has released kind of a limited edition. Now this thing's cool. I got this today and it inspired me to make the video. Again, it comes from Taiwan, which to me is a lot different than China. This is one of their earlier designs, and it is absolutely beautiful. CPM 154 crucible, and that's a lot of it right there. It's got a great feel. It's got a great weight. It's kind of in the style of, for example, like old 1960s Puma. Very similar. Let's go shoot that Slingshot. So we're going to upgrade the caliber here to these 50 caliber lead balls that I got from Air Venturi. And I find that the tool is fairly easy to load, and it feels good in my hand, and it feels like I could be fairly accurate with it. I think a slingshot is not a slingshot. You has to have a certain amount of accuracy to it, and the only way you can judge that is just by shooting it. And a decent amount of power. I wouldn't want to be on the receiving end. Dang. Let's go take a look. So definitely, this is, I think the shocks were shipped in these. Pretty heavy duty. Went through the back of that one, through here, and then out the back. So definitely went through 4 very easily with those. So hope you enjoyed.